This is the biggest lie in crypto. For years, they said that they're trying to stop crypto because it's too private. But the truth is, almost every transaction you've ever sent is public. Look at this. This is my wallet from 2021. Every transaction, every timestamp, every amount, forever. That coffee I bought, there. That NFT I flipped, right there. That embarrassing meme coin that I FOMO'd into, it's right there. If you've ever sent a Bitcoin transaction to a friend or swapped some ETH on a DEX, you might think that you're flying under the radar, but spoiler alert, you're not. I'm going to show you how blockchain surveillance has gotten so advanced, chain analysis firms can track your entire financial life from a single transaction, and how the government just convicted a developer for writing privacy code. Listen guys, this new era of technology is going to change everything. If you care at all about your privacy, you can't afford to miss this. What if I told you that right now, your transactions are a wet dream to the tax man, to Mr. Uncle Sam? Oh, and not just him too, guys. Law enforcement and malicious actors? You never know. Because everything that you've been told about crypto privacy is a lie. Welcome back to the Coin Zone, where we uncover the hidden truths behind crypto and money. I'm your host, Crypto with Paul. And today we're not just talking about privacy coins. We're exposing the entire surveillance apparatus that has been built around crypto. And there's an underground movement that's fighting back. But first, guys, just gotta let you know, I'm not a financial advisor. And this is not financial advice. I'm just a guy who's sick of being spied on, okay? That's it. That's all we got here. Is that good? Good. Here's the thing. For as long as crypto has been around, regulators have been tripping over themselves to come up with reasons to take it away from us. Their favorite line is claiming that crypto is too anonymous, that it gives cover to illegal activities and money laundering. You know, all those news reporters who try to convince you that crypto is just for doing drugs.
But this is just the surface of how the currency is used. Dig deeper on the web, and you will find darker reasons.
We did find, of course, that the currencies were being used to facilitate or to engage in online drug trafficking and online sex trafficking.
That scared away many would-be investors from entering the space. And worse still, it's given crypto investors like you and me a false sense of security. Because here's the dark truth that they don't want you to admit. Crypto is way more traceable than cash. This is a space built on the promise of financial freedom, yet most blockchains are like glass houses. Every transaction etched in public stone, traceable back to your doorstep with enough elbow grease from chain analysis to track it. In Bitcoin, it's pseudonymous at best. With tools like chain analysis and blockchain explorers, your morning coffee run could unravel your entire financial history. Ethereum. Smart contracts are brilliant, but they're screaming your wallet address to the world. And the same goes for almost every single altcoin on the market. And I know what you're thinking, but Paul, what if I never used a centralized exchange? That's a fair point. But here's the thing. Whenever you buy crypto at this point, even if it's from like an ATM that you see at convenience stores, you're likely going through some sort of KYC process. KYC, or Know Your Customer, is a process by which crypto providers are now legally mandated to collect data they can use to confidently identify you. So that means when you buy crypto for the very first time, your name is linked to that very first transaction. And from then on out, because blockchains are basically just public lists of transactions on a ledger, it's incredibly easy to track. For instance, let's say Bob or Bob O buys $1,000 worth of Bitcoin from his local convenience store at an ATM. The ATM asks for his ID, so he gives it. But Bob's a smart guy, don't worry. After he bought it, he then put it in cold storage. This wallet has a public address and can easily use a tool like Blockchain Explorer to follow how the BTC in this wallet moves across the network. And with this information, we can easily start to build out an idea of where in the world this wallet owner lives, what they like to buy, who they like to interact with, how much money they have. And people are told that this is private because we only see the address on Block Explorer. It's not true. But the problem is that because Bob had to tie his identity to it in the first place to even buy the Bitcoin, he's trackable, which means law enforcement or just regular hackers can expose your information. And for the big three-letter agencies, this is a dream. And don't even take my word for it. Even the former FBI director said that blockchains and cryptos are more traceable than money. Meanwhile, former CIA Director Michael Morrell says Bitcoin is a quote-unquote boon for surveillance. And reporting for the New York Times even shows how easily governments have been able to trace Bitcoin in cases like the Colonial Pipeline ransomware attack. As of November 2025, something massive is happening in the privacy coin market. Zcash, a privacy coin, just overtook Monero for the first time in history. We're talking about over an 800% surge since September. And Dash is up over 330%, hitting over $100 as we speak. And the privacy coin sector just crossed over $25 billion in total market cap. But to understand what's actually happening, it's important to understand that these so-called privacy coins are not new. And they're actually one of the reasons why crypto was built in the first place. Walk with me for a second here. In the early days, crypto was just shaking off its Bitcoin diapers. Privacy wasn't an afterthought. It was the spark that lit the fire for a whole new breed of coins. Enter Bytecoin, the OG of privacy-focused blockchains. Launched on July 4th, 2012, yes, Independence Day, fitting for a project that's trying to break away from prying eyes. But here's where things get mysterious. Bytecoin was not just some Bitcoin fork. It was built from the ground up using something called Crypto Note Protocol. This is technology so advanced that at the time it made Bitcoin transactions look like it was being broadcasted on a jumbotron. And get this, the team behind it, complete ghosts, okay? Completely anonymous. Okay, we're talking deep web origins, like crypto puzzlers, references to Victor Hugo and Dante. These weren't just developers. No, these were digital revolutionaries. Now you might be asking, what's a ring signature? And no, it's not the ringtones that we used to download on our Razr phones back in the day. Ring signatures are genius. Imagine you're in a room with 10 people and all of you sign a document together. Everyone knows one of you signed it, but nobody knows which one. And that's what Bytecoin did with your transactions. They mixed your payments with decoys from other users. And that creates a crowd where nobody stands out. Add one-time addresses, have a fresh unlinked wallet for every transaction, and suddenly you're a ghost in the machine, powered by the Crypto Night algorithm. Now this is CPU friendly and ASIC resistant to keep mining decentralized. Bytecoin caps supply at 184 billion coins. Everything obfuscated by default, no opt-in nonsense. The whole network blends your moves automatically. They even embedded Easter eggs in the blockchain, coordinates to schools, quotes from cypherpunk literature. It was like that they were leaving breadcrumbs for a future revolution. But unfortunately, here's the dark rumor that killed Bytecoin's dominance. Rumors swirled that up to 80% of the supply was pre-mined. They were allegedly scooped up by the developers before anybody else could mine it. Trust literally evaporated overnight. The community felt betrayed, but actually what came out of that was something much more beautiful and powerful. Fast forward now to 2014. A group of developers fork Bytecoin's code, clean up the mess, and birth Monero coin. Monero took Crypto Note and weaponized it. Ring confidential transactions didn't just hide who sent what, it obscured amounts too. Ring signatures evolved from mixing with 3 decoys to 16. Stealth addresses became mandatory. No half measures. And get this, the IRS got so frustrated by this that they spent $1.25 million in bounties to crack Monero. And as of today, Monero trades at $340 with a $6.2 billion market cap, and it processes millions of truly anonymous transactions every day. Then in 2016, Zcash arrives with a technological flex that made everyone's jaw drop. Talking about ZK Snarks. Born from ZeroCoin, an electric coin company project, Zcash let you prove a transaction is valid without revealing anything about it. It's like showing someone you have a key to a door without actually showing them the key itself. Shielded pools for private sends, transparent addresses for when you need compliance. But here's the catch. ZK Snarks are computationally expensive, and that initial trusted setup raised concerns about backdoors. As of today, Zcash is exploding. It's up around 1,500% in the past year and overtook Monero as the #1 privacy coin, something we need to keep an eye on. Privacy tech sounds bulletproof, right? Well, it was. Then the feds came knocking and they went after mixers. Mixers are tools that mix up your transactions with strangers to break up the trail. In other words, they take your public wallet address and mix it in with a bunch of others. This makes it much harder to track where transactions originally came from. Mixers are a last-ditch effort to make big coins like Bitcoin actually private. But they have become lightning rods for regulators who see shadows everywhere. No case screams this louder than Tornado Cash. Tornado Cash is an Ethereum mixer that the US threw the book at hard. Tornado Cash launched in 2019 as pure code, an open source smart contract that nobody controlled. You deposit ETH into fixed pools, withdraw later via ZK snark proof from a different address. No links, no logs, pure mathematical privacy. The founders Roman Storm, Alexei Pertsev, and others built it completely decentralized. No servers to shut down, no company to sue, just immutable code on Ethereum. It processed billions. Regular people used it for legitimate privacy. I'm talking protesters to authoritarian regimes, donors to controversial causes. The team made over $12 million in fees, and innovation was paying off. Then 2022 happened, the Ronin network hack. Talking $625 million stolen by North Korea's Lazarus Group. The money laundered through Tornado Cash. Now fast forward to August 2022, the Treasury drops the hammer. Sanctions. The smart contracts themselves are blacklisted. Using Tornado Cash becomes a federal crime. And then days later, Alexei Pertsev is arrested in Amsterdam. No warning, no charges filed yet, just handcuffs. And to be honest, the trial was a farce. The prosecution argued that Tornado Cash was a business and not just code. And the defense said you can't arrest someone for writing math. Fast forward to May 2024, the Dutch court verdict. 64 months, over 5 years in prison for Pertsev, the judge's words still chill the crypto community. Anonymity isn't a right if it aids laundering. But the real shock came with Roman Storm's US trial. The DOJ didn't just charge him with money laundering, they went after him with conspiracy to run an unregistered money transmitter. The evidence? Chat logs where Storm joked about illicit flows. It's the fact that he knew criminals used Tornado Cash but kept it running. August 6th, 2025 now. The verdict drops guilty on the main court. Storm faces 5 years in federal prison. The sentence is still pending. The DOJ's message was crystal clear. Privacy tools aren't excuses to commit crimes. But here's what makes me angry. If code is speech, protected by the First Amendment, how can you sanction smart contracts? Lazarus laundered money through banks too. JP Morgan processed over $1 billion for Jeffrey Epstein as he trafficked children. It's a war on tools, not criminals, and developers are the casualties. Where traditional finance, the towering temple of banks and brokers, lectures crypto on compliance while hoarding shadows for its own. Your Venmo payment? Track, sold, subpoenaed, signed, sealed, delivered. And Apple Pay might as well be a data buffet for corporations. New regulations like PSD2 in Europe force banks to share your financial data with trusted third parties under the banner of open banking. It's really open season for your privacy. And CBDCs with programmable surveillance are coming. AI credit scores devour your digital crumbs. Digital IDs are rolling out globally. We're one server breach away from total financial nudity. Except, of course, when the elites need privacy. Exhibit A, the Jeffrey Epstein files. Jeffrey Epstein wasn't just a JP Morgan client, he was a super client. From 1998 to 2013, his accounts ballooned to over $200 million, and this generated millions in annual fees for the bank. In 2004 alone, he pocketed over $15 million brokering JP Morgan's buyout of Highbridge Capital. Over 15 years, they processed over $1 billion of transactions for him. I'm talking wires to private islands, shell companies in the Virgin Islands, and payment after payment to young women. Staff flagged suspicious behavior in 2000, calling them unusual and possibly fraudulent. Compliance documents then labeled Jeffrey Epstein high risk. Oh, and after his 2008 conviction for trafficking minors, JP Morgan kept him as a client for another 5 years. And only in 2013, when media attention became unavoidable, did they cut ties. Epstein immediately moved to Deutsche Bank, which later paid $75 million to settle similar charges. And in June of 2023, JP Morgan settles a class action from 200 Epstein victims for $290 million. No admission of guilt, but a federal judge greenlights it, slamming the bank for ignoring warnings and enabling trafficking. September 2023, another $75 million to the US Virgin Islands, where Epstein's pedo island had operated. In the total bill, over $365 million plus immeasurable reputational damage. So while JP Morgan sues crypto companies for risk, just remember that they shielded a literal child sex trafficker. Privacy is a privilege for TradFi, but for billionaires and banks, it's a fortress. And if you just want Uncle Sam to stop tracking your transactions like some weird puppy who's just following you everywhere, you're the bad guy. For them, it's just good business. But for you and me, it's a felony. Not everybody in crypto has given up on privacy. In April of 2025, Ethereum's creator Vitalik Buterin published an essay that shook the entire industry, quote unquote, "Why I support privacy." Privacy isn't hiding, it's freedom from the public game, he said. Vitalik argues that without privacy, every transaction becomes vulnerability. Social cascades where one person's spending influences everybody. Talking corporate price discrimination based on your wallet address, state coercion tracking dissidents. According to Vitalik, privacy enables three things. Number one, freedom. Chase dreams without scrutiny. No doxing, no deplatforming for wrong thinking. Number two, order. Game theory that actually works. Secret ballots prevent vote buying. Private transactions prevent market manipulation. Number three, it's progress. Unlock data without exposing it. ZK-proven healthcare records for personalized medicine. Anonymous sensors creating pollution maps. Vitalik says backdoors are unstable hacks, ripe for abuse when regimes change. Today's democracy could be tomorrow's dictatorship. My guy is also not just sitting here philosophizing, he's building. Ethereum has an L1 privacy roadmap. What does it include? Let's go through it. Number one, simple ZK snarks for base layer shields. Number two, programmable privacy pools that separate legitimate users from hackers. Number three, proof of personhood without ID leaks. Number four, its privacy is infrastructure and not afterthought. And while Ethereum sits here and plans, Cardano acts. Charles Hoskinson and team are launching Midnight. Midnight is a privacy sidechain on Cardano that might be the cleverest play yet. So Midnight fixes blockchain's transparency trap with selective disclosure. Midnight is built on Cardano's Ouroboros consensus for security. It also uses next level ZK proofs for programmable privacy. You want to transact? Shield your addresses and the amounts. Then selectively reveal only what's necessary. You could prove you paid taxes without showing your entire history. You could verify your identity without exposing your data. Here's also the genius move. Cardano and Midnight are doing a massive airdrop for this, and I'm participating in it. So there's the Glacier drop that will distribute free Night tokens to 34 million wallets across all chains, including every single ADA holder. They're not asking permission, they're creating adoption through distribution, and the roadmap is quite ambitious. We have hospitals sharing anonymized trial data. We have supply chains tracking ethically without exposing trade secrets. We have DeFi built with in-audit capabilities. It's privacy for the compliant crowd. Secure, scalable, sovereign. No more privacy for elites only. This democratizes privacy and gives it back to us as well. Now, let's ground up all this philosophy with cold hard numbers. Because in crypto, money talks louder than manifestos. As of November 7th, 2025, the privacy coin sector is worth $25.3 billion. That's spanning across 82 projects with $2.8 billion in 24-hour trading volume. Here's what's absolutely insane. For the first time in history, Zcash has overtaken Monero as the privacy king. Monero ranked 35, $6.2 billion in market cap, $340 per coin, the OG privacy champion using ring signatures and stealth addresses, up 54% since August. Zcash ranked 42, $10.2 billion in market cap, over $740 per coin, the comeback kid, up over 1,500% on the entire year. It's not a typo, guys. Did over a 10x. Then we also have another shock with Dash. Dash is ranked 55 at a $1.3 billion market cap at around $107 per coin. Dash surged 337% in recent weeks. From 17.45 in June to 107 today, the privacy coin forgot everything about its suddenly printing money for its holders. But why? Private send mixing, instant transactions, and something nobody expected. Institutional accumulation. So in no particular order, here are the top 10 privacy coins that people are focusing on right now. Number one, we have Zcash, ZK Snark's leader. Then Monero, default privacy king. Then Dash. Then Beldex, Decred, Zano, Railgun, Verge, Pirate Chain, Tornado Cash. Even Tornado Cash, sanctioned by the US government, is still worth around 50 million US dollars and actively has trading volume. That is literally the ultimate middle finger to regulators. But here's what's really driving this. Institutions are the ones piling in. Grayscale's Zcash Trust just crossed over $123 million in assets. They're literally creating products for Dash and Monero because even Wall Street knows people desperately need privacy. They're also putting their money behind their bet. Arthur Hayes, former BitMEX CEO, predicts Zcash will hit $10,000. Okay, bro is actually literally putting his money where his mouth is. The narrative has flipped, guys. Privacy is not criminal. It's a hedge against surveillance. So where does privacy go from here? Well, the answer is zero knowledge everything. Zero knowledge proofs are mathematical magic. They let you prove something is true without revealing it. Why it's true. Imagine proving you're over 21 without showing your ID. Proving you've paid your taxes without revealing your income. Or proving you're solvent as a company without showing your balance. And this isn't theoretical, it's happening now. The Aztec network, privacy for all Ethereum transactions. Aleo, private smart contracts by default. Mina protocol, the entire blockchain in 22 KB. And Polygon ZK EVM, Ethereum scaling with privacy built in. Here's the breakthrough that nobody's talking about, guys. Privacy is becoming composable. You'll be able to hold Bitcoin, wrap it on Ethereum, shield it through Aztec, stake it on Cardano and Midnight, or spend it via Zcash. That is complete interoperability, complete privacy, no compromises. And here's the kicker. Regulators are starting to accept it. The EU's AMLR rules, taking effect July 2027, don't ban privacy coins. They just require extra compliance from exchanges. Japan is reconsidering its privacy coin ban. South Korea is exploring privacy-preserving CBDCs. Even the US Treasury admitted that less than 1% of crypto crime involves privacy coins. The war on privacy coins is becoming unwinnable. From Bytecoin's crypto note Spark to Monero's Fortress, Zcash's ZK wizardry, and Dash's resurgence, Tornado's tragic martyrdom, JP Morgan's elite exemptions, Vitalik's bold blueprint, Midnight's Cardano dawn, and the recent privacy coin market explosion, privacy is not dead. It's defiant. Crypto started transparent. That was a bug, not a feature. Now it's time to fix it. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Every Bitcoin transaction you make is public forever. Every ETH swap, every DeFi yield farm, it's all there, waiting for somebody with bad intentions to connect the dots. Now, this could be your employer, your mom, your ex, a stalker, I don't know. But you have a choice now, and the tools exist, and the tech works. The market is screaming to you right now that privacy matters. So here's the action plan. Don't let surveillance steal your sovereignty. Here's what you can actually do right now. For beginners, understand and research privacy coins. And I'm not a financial advisor, so I won't tell you personally which coin to back. But I will say it's more than worth it to do your own research and find a couple projects that you genuinely believe in. You never know when you might need privacy in a pinch. Now for intermediaries, run your own node of a privacy coin that you believe in. Use DEXs instead of KYC exchanges. And that's really it. Now for advanced users, deploy privacy smart contracts. Contribute to privacy protocols. I mean, hell, if you know how to program, get involved. Help build these tools that we desperately need. Because as I record this in November of 2025, the market has spoken. Privacy coins right now as I speak are becoming a definable trade of 2025, especially with massive tears in the price of Monero, Zcash, and Dash. And this isn't even about making money. This is about making a statement. It's about guaranteeing our financial freedom before they take it away from us for good. But I want to know, guys, what's your take? Are you a Monero maxi? Are you a Zcash zaddy? Or are you a Dash daddy? I'm sorry. But let me know in the comments. And let me know if this lit a fire under your butt. Because again, there's tools that are coming to take away all these freedoms from us. But we can also build the tools that will fight back against that. If you felt like you got value from this, please make sure to go ahead and subscribe to this channel and like this video. Once again, guys, you are watching The Coin Zone. I'm your host, Crypto with Paul, and I'll see you guys in the next investigation.